Welcome to the Solid Signal Podcast for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. The last couple of podcasts have been kind of serious, kind of heavy, kind of deep. So I thought I'd back off a little bit and talk about a much more fun subject. See, life is all about balance. So may as well have a little bit of fun with the Solid Signal Podcast now and again. I thought I'd tell you about the 3 movies that I'm interested in seeing this summer. Why? Well, 'cause it's fun. Now, it's only the end of April, but on the other hand, summer movie season seems to have already started. There was a long time ago, when summer movie season started July 4th. Then later it became Memorial Day, and now it seems like if the sun is shining and the snow is melting, summer's here. Go figure. The first movie I'm excited to see is Oblivion. It's not because I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. In fact, I think the movie probably would have been better off with an unknown actor in it. It's because it's an original science fiction story. It doesn't come from a comic book. It doesn't come from a TV show. It's purely original. And I like that about science fiction. I think it should be fun. I think it should be original. There's a lot of stories to tell. And so that's why I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I'm going in pretty optimistic about Iron Man 3. Iron Man 2 didn't completely work for me. It was supposed to be a little bit mature, a little bit darker, but at the end it was still a little bit too comic booky for me. It didn't completely work, especially not as well as the first Iron Man. Now we're going in really knowing who the character is and where he came from, and I think maybe there's a chance for some real character development here. If not, of course, there's always Iron Man 4, right? But it should come as no surprise that the movie that I'm really geeking out about this summer is Star Trek Into Darkness. The 2009 reboot of Star Trek was ambitious, it was a big risk, and it paid off. I don't know how it walked that balance between satisfying the older folks and finding a whole new audience, but it really did. It surprised me how well it did, as a matter of fact. I think Into Darkness is going to do for Star Trek what The Dark Knight did for Batman. It's going to take it into a whole new thoughtful realm. There's a lot of meat there. It's about terrorism. It's about trust. It's about evolution. And Star Trek hasn't always done a great job portraying this kind of darker world, but I think this one's going to work. I think some of the older diehard fans are going to be upset that it's not the bright, cheery, optimistic Star Trek that we saw in the 1960s or even some of the early seasons of Next Generation. But I think it's going to be a great ride. See, making a good summer movie is as much of an art as making one of those fancy French Cannes Film Festival kind of things. You have to strike all the right notes. If not, you don't make a lot of money, and these movies cost a lot of money to make. And even if you do make a lot of money, well, you'll be largely forgotten in a couple of years. There have been summer blockbusters for 40 years now, and the odds are you can probably only remember about a dozen of them. Oh, you know, Star Wars, Star Trek maybe, Harry Potter, what have you. And the truth is that a lot of these come and go, and they make their money back, but they're not films for the ages. I think these 3 have a chance to be films for the ages. I'm going to stick in one more just because I have time, and it's The Great Gatsby. This is based on a book that's almost 100 years old, that you probably had to read in high school, that everybody told you was a great book. I understand. But, you know, it was actually recorded in 3D. It promises to be exciting and wow and thrilling, and yes, you're going to end up thinking at the end of it, but didn't you end up thinking at the end of The Dark Knight? Really, that wasn't so bad either. I'd love to hear more comments about what you guys think are going to be the movies that you'll see this summer, or if this is the kind of podcast you'd like to hear more of or hear less of. Click on the Suggest a Topic button at the upper right-hand corner of the Solid Signal blog, leave a comment attached to the YouTube video of this podcast, or hey, just contact us any way you'd like at solidsignal.com. Until then, have a great week.